Hey, Bublynn, coming in, crushing this art. Hey, so we're back at it. We're talking about Gemini moon, Pisces sun. So, straight off the bat, we're talking about Gemini moon, right? This is someone that is expansive. They want to expand. They want more things going on, right? Air. But they want it to be relatable. They don't necessarily want to get into crazy situations, right? They don't necessarily want to be gambling, maybe, but they're going to play it kind of safe, you know what I mean? They're going to try to use logic, they're going to try to use the systems in order to get the most out of it. You know, they're not going to be necessarily like, oh, I'm feeling it this time, you know, maybe, but like generally they're going to be in a place where they're always wanting and craving expansion, like the moon. They're so used to always being pushed forward, almost like growing up and stuff like this. Um and yeah, and like and getting sucked up into situations where like you're kind of looked at as like, what do we do, right? And like kind of like bringing people together almost, but not really, just being that like you don't want to necessarily like get on people's like offsides, right? Necessarily, it's not really what you're about. You know, don't necessarily want sharp things to happen, but make like great things to happen, right? Like explosions at a distance almost. So that's like what you crave, right? And then acting in a Pisces way is like very mutable. I feel like then this person probably gets sucked up into a lot of situations and finds themselves like, you know, always kind of like, yeah, just getting sucked up into a lot. And if they're going to find themselves, it's almost like they're going to find themselves through the situations that life brings them, you know? And so, anyway, then the sun, this is someone who wants to act in ways that they know. They don't necessarily want to kind of do new things, right? But they kind of want to already expand on that lane, their moon. But they are incorporative. They do want to expand on it. They just don't necessarily want to get like too much caught up in new lanes. But what they do is will pick up on the present, right? Will be very receptive water and can get sucked up in a new thing, right? It's just that the water generally has like a soul and it has attachment. It's gonna have a hard time, or it's gonna go through a lot. So it's generally gonna act in ways that it knows. But the Pisces is just so keen on picking up new paths and new waters that it's always getting caught out and learning something. So yeah, so basically coming from a place where always wanting expansion and then acting in a way where you just really want it, like you like you want to go with the flow, but you also kind of want to know the flow is how you want to act, but you want it to kind of be like ever expansive, kind of like so yeah. So I don't know. So what would you think about this as like individually, right? What would be um what would be like that? So you're in a place where you're trying to develop safeguards on what you do because you're always getting caught up in new things and you just kind of want things to be kind of cool and collected, you know what I mean? And you're coming from a place where you're kind of like trying to expand and you're um, always getting sucked up in new things that way, right? Like getting caught up and then like blowing up bubbles of thought, or like concentrating on certain things and then keep going, right? So, hmm. So yeah, like personally, really being able like to think, but then always thinking about things that just kind of come your way, right? And getting like sucked up into the current, or always like yeah, it's almost, yeah, I don't know. So like, hmm, almost like you're set up in a way where you always have opportunity to get lost because there's like so much growth in what's around you, right? Um, but it's all for you. So like all like your whole situation would look like the Gemini moon. Calm, cool, and collected and growing and like great, right? Like I can dip out at any moment. You know, it's all chill, calm, cool, collected, right? But it's growing, it's popping, it's a party, right? But then like all that you can kind of get caught up, right? You can kind of spend too much time on one person, right? You can kind of like um you gotta like end up, yeah, safeguarding like where you spend your time, because you're gonna end up kind of be willy-nilly like kind of everywhere, right? So, or you're gonna have to learn, if you are really nilly everywhere, to really be able to bring yourself out when you are in XYZ situations, because there's a lot of times where you get caught up in situations, generally as people, where you can't express yourself fully, right? So so yeah, so that would be like someone who always works in a social place but can get like really really like invested in individual people. Like almost like if you were managing like an artist, right? Like if you're a manager or something like this. Because personally, you have to get really caught up in someone and really like but it's kind of water, right? You know what you're doing. You're a manager. That's kind of your lane. But you always get caught up in new things with that, and so that's acting in that way. But then coming from a place where you have this like expansive, relatable thing, just like the art energy an artist will bring your way, right? So it's almost like that, that kind of energy. So yeah. So that's a little bit about thinking about Gemini Moon, Pisces Sun. Any questions? If you want to talk, hit me up. Bublynn Citra Beach. Out. A